supposed to be doing Halloween shit this month, I know, but I couldn't help myself. You know, my uncle's coming to town, so I figured maybe get some reps, and hopefully at some point we get a chance to play a little bit. He likes playing Street Fighter Alpha 2. I'm probably more of an Alpha 3 kind of guy. I just sort of spent more time playing that one. Unintentionally too, I just used my Pandora Box Arcade. And I just figured, oh well, Alpha 3's got to be the better game, right? And that's kind of actually true for a lot of them. Like, you know, nobody really plays like Second Impact that much. I mean, I'm sure there's some fucking fanboys out there that love like the second version of Street Fighter Alpha or Street Fighter 3, but generally speaking, that one is the one to use, right? Is to play Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, the third version. Even like, ooh, you got me good on that one. I can't be talking about playing Bison that much, it's brutal. But and like even Street Fighter 2, like I think probably the the version of Street Fighter Alpha, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo is easily the best. It's actually on this collection too. I'm playing this for the 30th anniversary collection, not on my Pandora box. Which is kind of funny because honestly, like they did what they used the term arcade perfect as like their sort of go-to, if you will. But in all reality, like there's so many better versions of these games. It's kind of crazy. Like in the I'm gonna play like shit because I'm gonna keep talking for a little bit, but it's okay. I'm not really too bothered by that. But like there were console versions of Street Fighter Alpha 3, I think, that like had like a whole shit ton of characters. Like it had like characters from Turbo that weren't even in the game, like T-Hawk, I think, is it, or not T-Hawk, like Balrog, I think, makes an appearance, and he's not surprisingly in this game. There are like a lot of characters from 2 that aren't included. Oh man. I like guys' supers a little bit, but oddly enough, I always find they're really difficult to land, and you get that perfectly. That's how you land a super right there. You gotta be a computer. Oh my god, that stupid levitation trick that he does where he like goes up in the air and just hones in like a fucking beacon. And like I said, I'm like way far away and he's like doing that shit. It's so ridiculous. Ugh. I want to alpha counter that fucking thing at least once. I haven't been able to do alpha counter in a long time. For a while I felt like I could just do it pretty well, but ever since I came back to this game, fuck me, it feels like some sort of magical ability that I can't seem to pull off anymore. I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's I'm mashing too much and I just need to hold it. Alpha counters and parries are things, unfortunately, I still have not been able to master. Jesus Christ. He will just do that over and over and over again. Like, when he has his full bar, he's just fucking unloading on that shit. And I know that fucking super is that easy to do. Like he just, but you know, it's the computer, so he can just do it whatever the fuck he feels like. It's like basically pushing a button to him. Like there are definitely points where like I don't know how like good, like I've never seen Bison as like a high competitive player. I'm sure people can play him really well, but like I don't think there's ever been like a consistent like successful championship guy in like the professional leagues that play Bison consistent. I think the thing about Bison is that if you have the computer where charging really isn't a factor, and you can be as fucking bullshit as you want to be. Like, he's hard as shit, but like I think if you try to like play him as is, you know, I don't think it's just as effective. There's so much effectiveness in the fact that he just at will, like, will fucking. I don't know if there's like the input reading is not terrible in this game, honestly. Like it's not terrible. That's one of the secrets about beating this guy. Actually, I think that's how I did it the last time. It's crazy. Like there was a period where I did it 2 times in a row, and then I had like few sessions where I tried to beat this guy and I just simply couldn't do it. Like I had to give up. But I think that's one of the things you have to do is like get him in a corner and just start grabbing the shit out of him. For whatever reason, that's always the thing with some of these computers. You can't really like, you can't play like the way you want to play, where you're like really genuinely using your legit tactics that you use against another human being to beat him. Because it's just not how it works. You gotta really like, you gotta find that weird thing that just can't seem to deal with. especially for somebody like me who sucks ass on the scrubs. The reason why I call this the ScrubFiles. Oh. You just gotta do the cheap shit. Cheap shit, baby. Cheap shit. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck yeah, dude. That wasn't too bad. Fuck, dude. There was a point where I couldn't do that anymore, but I think it's because I just wasn't using the grabbing technique as much, and it was giving me a really hard time. That's what I'm talking about, bud. This is like his master that he's fighting. I love Guy. I kind of have like a low-key like bromance with Guy. He's a character from the Final Fight series, the basically Capcom's premier beat 'em up, I would say. I would say that's their premier beat 'em up. You know, like Konami had like the Turtles games, you know, and the Simpsons game. They had a lot of like licensed great beat 'em ups. You know, Sega had Streets of Rage. You know, Double Dragon was kind of a big, you know, kind of major one. Sega also had, I think, Golden Axe as well. And Final Fight was like the fucking, it's probably my favorite beat 'em up because of the connection to Capcom. But they brought in some great Final Fight characters in this one. You know, Cody's in this one, the guy who kind of very famously, and it really starts in this game, or not in this one in particular. I don't know if he's in Alpha 2. Let's see if he's in Alpha 2, actually. Fuck, I'm kind of curious. Or Alpha 1. So, okay, so you got all the OG Street Fighter 2, basically all the run-of-the-mills. You got literally the first one. Street Fighter 2 Turbo is sort of like I said, the premier one that you can play. And then, yeah, Third Strike for Street Fighter 3. I don't know anybody who plays these two. Like, competitively, or like, yeah, these are my favorite. I'm sure there's somebody. But like, other than maybe some like backgrounds that I think are better, or like maybe some like beginning screens and some music, I would say everybody pretty much plays Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I don't think there's anybody out there. And with the rest of these two, like, I'm sure there's some fans of the new challengers, or maybe Hyper Fighting or some shit. But Street Fighter 2 Turbo is the one. But for Alpha, it's a little bit different. Like, I don't think anybody plays Alpha 1 too much anymore. Let's see. Let me look at this one. Dude, the anime for this particular one is weird, too. Me and my Uncle Randy used to love this fucking shit. I kind of want to see if I can get him to do an episode with me. Maybe we'll play some fighting games. I don't know if we're going to have time to do it, though, unfortunately. I'd love to just sit him down and just the two of us fuck around on the Pandora box, just play some 2D shit over the video. Like, it's a nice little, like, time capsule, you know? We don't really get to do that often anymore. I wouldn't mind actually trying to make it happen. Just having it somewhere forever. Let's see. Yeah, dude, look at this roster for this shit. My God. I mean, you got two of the original... You got 1, 2, 3, 4 original cast members. That is it. Then you've got Charlie, who's basically the Guile substitute. He, in storyline, gets killed. I'm trying to readjust the screen a little bit. Fuck. Back. Go back. God damn it. But, you know, you got Charlie, who's sort of the Guile substitute. God damn it. Go back. That's the only problem with these games, is they're quote-unquote arcade perfect. Yeah, Cody's not even in this one. It's just Guy and Sodom for whatever the fuck reason. And Birdie and Adon are both members from the original Street Fighter. I'm talking Street Fighter 1. I'm talking not Street Fighter 2, the original. These two guys were in it. And then Sagat, and then Rose, I think, is also an original Alpha character as well. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about that, but I've never seen her in anything else before this. She was also in the anime and made a lot of appearances after the fact. Street Fighter Alpha 2, like I said, is my uncle's favorite. Randy loved to play the shit out of this, but I'm sure he played it. I can't remember if he played it on the SNES or the PlayStation. I feel like it was in the PlayStation. I mean, just a lot of people feel that this is their favorite album. This is their favorite. Like, there's actually kind of a mix between them. I would say some of the backgrounds on this one are really good. Some people claim that Street Fighter Alpha 3 is a little bit janky. Like, it's a little bit weirdly balanced, but you got a lot of new characters here. I have time to look at everything and not have a fucking timer. So we got Relento, another Final Fight bad guy, badass. Like I said, you got the original, you got, God damn it, there's a fucking timer too. I'm working here, damn it.
Jesus, it's gonna take forever. Again, arcade perfect. It's like, why don't you just give me a good game? Again, which is a, you know, that's, I think this is might be, no, he was in the original Street Fighter as well. Sakura was a fucking bitch. She's basically like Ryu's fanboy, and she's badass. Zangief. And then you got Akuma and Dan, who's the joke character meant to make fun of SNK. Because SNK came out with, not Ryu, but Ryo, who's basically like he's got like an orange, he's like a Shoto character, which is basically, a Shoto character is any variation of a Ryu-like character. A guy with like a fireball and like a Tatsunaki and a dragon punch, and you know, like anything that follows in that same vein is a Shoto character. And so their Shoto character was Ryo, who's like, he's got like this orange, bright orange kind of gi, and shoots like a fireball, very similar to Dan. So Dan, in a lot of ways, was sort of mocking SNK. It was sort of a tongue-in-cheek kind of little jab at them. Fucking Dan actually makes appearances in the Marvel vs. Capcom series, which I'm just like, what the fuck is that all about? Like, they have fucking Ken, Ryu, and fucking Dan. It's like, you have 3 Shoto characters from the Street Fighter series, and you didn't bother including half the other ones. Like, it was so weird. Like, he made a lot of unnecessary appearances. This one, they brought back E Honda. Cody, now in his jail suit. In the original one, he's sort of just like Guy's buddy. Like, they're kind of like the Double Dragon Bros. Them together in Final Fight. They're kind of the lead characters. In this story, like, Cody's become like a, you know, kind of like, you know, just become a criminal. I forget why he went to jail. I don't know what the in-game storyline of was it. Like, the in-game story of why that happened. But he just basically becomes kind of like a, I wouldn't say he's a bad character. He's more like chaotic neutral. Like, he's kind of become a bit of like a rogue in this regard. You got Vega as well. You got, what's her fucking name? Now I gotta fucking restart it just to see this fucking shit. I'm in a good mood, trust me. I'm actually not mad, but I'm thinking about getting a stress ball, though. I'm not gonna lie. My boy Mike has one in the lab, and I can't help but every time grab it, and I'm kind of like starting to realize that when I get mad, like, that's what I need to do is squeeze a little cushy ball into a little, like, fucking, like I'm squeezing a diamond, and then just watch it expand. The feeling of watching that thing expand in my palm. Karen is legit. She's fucking really good in this game. My brother, Bo, actually really likes using Karen a lot. And then you got Cammy as well. This is probably Cammy's best. Like, I've been told, at least from, like, from the competitive standpoint, that Cammy's actually kind of low-key, kind of trash in the original Street Fighter 2 Turbo. But in this one, dude, she gives you some problems. I'll never forget seeing my uncle raging out, like, trying to fight her in the computer. Like, that was probably one of those first moments where it's like, I'm not going to say he taught me to do that, but I think I definitely, like, saw some of that and was like, alright, yeah. I've been there. Trust me, I'm not better. I'd say that story and I'm not pretending like, yeah, he flipped out like an idiot, but, like, I do it all the time. And then our Mika, who's actually kind of cool, too. I mean, they give her an outfit. I mean, look at that shit. She looks like fucking Ric Flair's daughter. You know what I mean? Like, she's just like the... I love the wrestling gimmick. I wonder what her moves are. Let's see what this shit is. What's this shit all about? Yeah, so she's got the 360s. I find that when I use the joystick on a controller, you can get away with the 360 by just doing it, like, from the right and then going to the top quarter. Like, you don't need to do a full circle. And so I kept trying to do that whenever I use my fight stick, which I'm using right now. But I always find with the fight stick, you really do have to legit do a full 360 circle in order to get shit to happen. I'm doing it like shit right now, and of course, this is the wrong character to try to experiment with right now. Yeah, see, I did it right there, but of course, good luck trying to catch this fucking idiot. I can barely do it with fucking Guy. I really should have went to... That's like her... Yeah, she does like this little, like, booty thing. It's weird that it's in both... It's both... I just want to grab him once. Can I grab him once? Oh, there it goes. That's a grab right there. Hold on, I'm putting the damn stick on my foot on the table. I should need to get it put it in my lap so I can get better control. Yeah. So that's her other kick grab, I think.
Or was it? No, yeah, it was. Okay, so that's like her normal grab and do the heavy punch. She's pretty cool though. And yeah, like she does this thing too. I think she like slaps her butt cheeks. Like it's kind of really, like, you know. Capcom ain't exactly known for having a lot of class. You know what I mean? They make their girls pretty cool. Let's see. Let's try one of her super so we can get anything to happen. Oh, she does that thing where she like almost like runs at you like. Yeah, let's see. Can I do it? No, I got the time over. Let me see if I can try to pull off the super just once. Come on! Ah! I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to land that shit. But yeah, she's pretty cool. But, you know, I'm more of a Street Fighter Alpha 3. I played a lot more Alpha 3 on the Pandora box. I definitely think that's my go-to one. He's definitely more of a Street Fighter Alpha 2 guy. And hopefully we'll get a chance to play. This collection's pretty cool, but there are some really weird things about it. Like if you go online, if you do like online arcade or whatever, or I don't know, I'm just gonna do this real quick. You can only do these 4. I actually think that I actually forgot that hyper fighting was one. Actually, I originally thought it was only these 3. But that's it. Like we can't play Alpha 2 online, which kind of sucks. Like I said, like I get it with this one, with Street Fighter 3, and to some degree, like you have 2 versions of fucking Super Street Fighter 2, but you couldn't put Alpha 2. Like what the fuck? There are a lot of people that will tell you that those 2 games are very, very distinctly different. So, I love the only problem with Alpha 3. Well, there, you know, like a big problem with Alpha 3. Oh yeah, you can only do training mode with these 3 versions too. You can't do training mode for Alpha 2, which sucks as well. Like it's so weird. Like why would you do that? Why would you have a training mode for Alpha 3 and not have it for Alpha 2? The biggest problem with Alpha 3 though is the end boss is you have to fight like 2 of Bison's. Bison has like these like, it's a little bit like Gaddafi. You know how Gaddafi had like the women guard that he did? You can look that shit up. Gaddafi, like Muammar Gaddafi, like he was known for having like this sort of like female guard. God knows what they did all day. Who the fuck knows? I'm sure they weren't fighting. And I'm not saying that to despair. I'm saying like in the Gaddafi country, like what are the odds they're doing anything other than just being servants? You know what I mean? Like it's just. And so that whole thing with him is that he has like these girls, and like Cammy is sort of connected with Bison. She actually does like the Hail Hitler salute. It's kind of weird actually. And so at some point towards the end of the match, you're like sort of sub boss. I'm doing a training mode right now, so I can keep going back and forth to the character select screen a little more efficiently and just fuck around with characters. But you have to fight basically a handicap match. It's like 2-on-1 handicap matches. I love them. 2-on-1 handicap matches. So you're fighting these 2 random people, and there's unlimited continues, and I'm just getting wrecked. I mean, it's just like watching, you know, like I said, it's like watching Shawshank Redemption. I'm just getting my ass handed to me like crazy. And then I finally get through it, and I fight Bison for the first time. And I think at the time I was using Dawson for whatever the fuck reason. I have a better feel for Dawson. I just could pull it off better with Dawson. But I fucking fight Bison and I lose. I don't know if I split it or not. I can't remember. But I was like, okay, fine. But I said like what we just saw right now, like unlimited, like continue to let's learn something, let's find something I can do, and let's try for the next time. You lose once to Bison, you get the shit ending, and the game is over. No continues. Like what the fuck is that all about? Like, they've never done that with any of the other ones, and I'm just like, what a fucking bitch-ass cop-out that was. Like, no continues? Like, come on. I got to this level, and you're just gonna be, and you're gonna give me that bullshit? So, yeah, I've never actually beaten the final boss of this game, even though I played it more than any of them. Like, easily. You know what I noticed? I was playing, like, some of SNK's games recently, and I can do the DP input on SNK games really well, like where you go right, down, and then right again, or forward, down, forward. right, to do that. It's that second one, the stinger move right there. And that's basically the DP input. I can do that DP input for SNK games. I can never do it consistently with that Capcom games. Like, for the life of me, like, I basically have to do a double, like a quarter circle, double quarter circle in order to make anything like that happen. And even then, it's still not fully consistent. Yeah, like, it's hard to do. I love that super. Where he just, like, hangs you up on a hook. It's so cool. But yeah, man. And again, these are quote-unquote arcade perfect. So even though the GBA, I want to say, had some really, really badass ports where they actually had even more characters in the Alpha series, I want to get my hands on that so bad. I kind of feel like I want to play it at some point and just see what's up. But they're not included in this, right? You would think like the better version of this game. Granted, it's probably graphically not as good, but like, what the fuck? So there's like a lot of extras that on some of these console versions that are not going to be included because these are quote-unquote arcade perfect. Another problem is Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This is the American version of this game. And this game and King of Fighters 94, the American version is notoriously harder than the Japanese version. You play this fucking game, I swear to God, it is like fighting a stubborn, it is like going head to head against a stubborn child. I mean, it just refuses, it is just a input reading, cocksucking motherfucker that is, you know, like, it's not, when you get beat by somebody, when you get beat by like a legit, like, fucking boss that does a bunch of badass combos and catches you and shit, like, you at least kind of go like, alright, well, you did something that was impressive. Granted, you know, I still feel like you did it by not having to actually do the inputs, but whatever. But with this game, it feels like it is the dumbest shit ever, and yet it still beats you every time. Like, they will do the dumbest shit and still fuck you up every time. They input read like a motherfucker. They block everything, it feels like. And it is just not fun to play. And this is what many young men, many fucking gamers grew up with back in the day, is this version. And it's just like, I think I realized that, like, if you grew up in the arcades playing this shit over and over and over again, where you're actually literally putting your money where your mouth is, like pre-fucking fantasy sports, like, dude, this thing turns you into a tiger, because it is brutal. Like, I can barely get past the first two characters, and I just beat the boss on Alpha 2. You know? And granted, I did a lot of continues early on to get through it, but still, like, it is amazing. You will get stuck with the first fucking character. I'm just using Balrog because fucking, I don't really care. And I don't really have any favorite character in this. Even Dhalsim, like, Dhalsim's already slow, but then you add in like the slowness of the Turbo, and then, like I said, dealing with the fucking input reading computer, it just feels like a nightmare to deal with. Like I said, not doing any combos, like not really doing anything that's going to make you, but it's just catching you at the exact time and knowing exactly where the hitbox is and just beating the shit out of you. I had a friend of mine back in the day, his name was Kenneth. I really liked him. He was like an older guy, but he loved playing like, he was like a friend of my stepdad's, and we hung out with him all the time. He's actually, he's my cousin's father, so we kind of ended up becoming a little bit in the family. They're not together anymore, but he would always hated DJ, and I got to imagine this is one of the reasons. He probably like was in the fucking arcades, just watching this idiot just being like, just smile. Look at that fucking shit-eating smile just in your face. You know what I mean? Like, just watching somebody like that just beat the shit out of you. I'm gonna try somebody else a little bit. I could do Dhalsim, but I don't know. Let me try, Sagat. I've never tried before with this. This video is coming to an end soon, I promise. Let me just try one more time. Sagat's legs. It looks like he just didn't do a lot of leg day. Like, he clearly was, like, doing a lot of core and upper body, but just totally failed to... Like, see, he ended up doing shit like this, where you're, like, spamming... This is not cheating, it's legit strategy. It's legit strategy. Oh my god, I thought I got him. I don't even know all of Sagat's moves. Tiger knee. Oh wow, it goes all the way up. I've never tried that before. I don't think I've even seen that input before. It shows you how little I played Sagat. My god, look at that shit. Like, the dumbest shit ever, but it will still fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like, and you're just like, all you do is just feel like an idiot when you do it. At least I'm landing that shit, or at least I'm actually able to do that input, but I really should just go back to the OG strategy, baby. Why am I trying to fight like a real bad here? You don't need to fight like a real bad. You do what Trump does. You go to the Supreme Court, man. You just fucking stall that shit out until you just... I think like Trump is just sort of like betting on the idea that if this goes on long enough, people will forget about it. Like, I think that's what's trying to happen. I think that's what his plan is right now, because it can't possibly be anything else. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose again. This epic boss, DJ, of Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Yeah, I can't beat him. I mean, I'm sure I could, but I don't know. Like I said, like, I was never a big Street Fighter 2 fan. I definitely grew up playing more of the Alpha series. I would find a Street Fighter 2 cabinet, pump in 1 quarter or 2 quarters. I don't know, probably pre-inflation, probably 1 quarter. Just get fucking absolutely like used and abused like a bottom bitch, and then just walked away. That was it. That was my experience with Street Fighter 2. Alpha series, love it. Street Fighter 3 didn't have like the most amount of experience in the world with it, but like going back to it now, and a lot of these characters did end up appearing in later games, so there were a couple of people that I was familiar with, like the British boxer dude. Oh my god, I'm forgetting his name right now, or Ibuki or whatever, but you know, good stuff. But Alpha 3, baby, and Alpha 2. Mwah. I love you. Alright, I'm gonna say goodnight. I'm gonna start doing some Halloween content too. Let's start getting the old ookie spooky Octubi kind of going here.